Here we come. Here we come. Put a hand up if you feel alive. Put a hand up if you feel alive. Put a hand up if you feel the vibe, yo. Keep 'em up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Keep 'em up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Keep 'em up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you see what we can do. Cause ain't nobody gon' give it to you like this. Like this. Like this. Wait till you see what we can do. Cause ain't nobody gon' give it to you like this. Like this. Like video. Video. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come.
Welcome to the project team. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here in beautiful Miami, Florida. World-class city, World Cup energy, Wix, Google Workspace, it's all happening and we're so excited that you're a part of it. Carmen, this is our third time hosting a live event together. It's pretty incredible, no?
It really is. Even though it's our third time hosting, first time in Miami, and I'm actually particularly excited about this one. We'll be talking about solving some of the real challenges that business owners face. And we've even got some exclusive offers just for the folks joining us tonight, both in person and on the live stream. We'll be sharing those at the very end. So we've got an evening packed full of great stuff.
Absolutely. But before we jump in, some quick introductions. My name is David Burt. I'm part of the Wix User Success Group.
And I'm Carmen Barakat. I'm with the Google Workspace team.
Carmen, as you mentioned, we've done some really great events in the past, but I'm particularly excited about this one. It's our first live stream, but it's also the first time we're featuring a real Wix user. So real user, real challenges.
Exactly. This was actually particularly fun to be a part of and amazing to realize how much more a small business with limited resources and time can get done just by using these incredibly powerful but very approachable AI tools.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get into it because we've got a lot to cover tonight. And it starts with you, your biggest small business challenges. As part of the Wix User Success Group, I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of small businesses, perhaps even some of you tuning in tonight. And these are things we're hearing time and time again. We're gonna let you in on what those are, and we wanna hear from you as well. So be prepared to get your phone out. We're gonna take a virtual poll to get a feel for your personal experience. Next, we'll get everybody up to speed with a quick overview of Google Workspace, all of the tools that it includes. And then we'll meet Randy. So Randy is a real Wix user. He's been a long-time Wix user, but he's new to Google Workspace. We're going to show how Randy was able to solve some of his biggest challenges using the two platforms together. At the end, we'll tie everything together and put a bow on it with a special offer we have for everybody attending tonight. So what are the challenges we've been alluding to? Carmen, do you want to share?
For sure. So tonight we're going to talk about 3 specific hurdles that we know are real challenges based on what we're hearing from small businesses every day. The first is simply getting found online. So who here gets as much website traffic as you actually want? Yeah, probably nobody, right? So we know that this can be a real struggle for anyone selling stuff online. The rules keep changing, the landscape keeps expanding, and you're probably feeling pretty overwhelmed at this point. So tonight we're hoping that we'll take you from confusion to a competitive advantage. Next is managing your brand's content. Creating high quality lookbooks, brand guides used to require a lot of time and resources, but today we'll show you how you can eliminate those creative blocks and speed up your everyday design work. Finally, let's talk about data. Most business owners might look at it, but very few are actually using it to drive growth. So we're going to show you how Gemini, which is your personal AI assistant right within Google Workspace, can turn your Wix data into clear, actionable insights for your most important decisions. But before we jump in, we're actually really curious to see where everybody currently stands. So we're going to do a quick poll for everybody in the room and on the live stream. If you can scan this QR code real quick and vote for the business challenges that you're struggling with the most. Feel free to select multiple or whatever resonates with you. We're really curious to see what comes out of this.
Well, and this is a live demo, so we're not actually getting a QR code up. So yes, we're just gonna improvise. But basically, like we were saying, so as you mentioned, online visibility, keeping up with content and dealing with data, right? So anybody in the room, feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, we'll move on.
No worries.
Okay, so before we jump into how we're solving the problems, I think it would be helpful if we talk a little bit about the tools we're using to do it, beginning with Google Workspace. So what is Google Workspace? Simply put, it's a complete productivity suite of business apps with tools designed to work from anywhere on any device. Most of us probably recognize the Gmail logo. That's fitting. Gmail is one of the original Google business apps and obviously a very important communication tool. But I want to pause here to point out that it's actually so much more than just a communication tool. It's in fact a very powerful branding tool, and this often gets overlooked. But think about it. It's one of the most frequent and official touch points that people see from your business. You want it to be representative of the business you're running. I'm talking specifically about a professionally branded email address, so one with your business name in the domain. I'd be willing to bet that there's some of us here tonight still running our business from a gmail.com address, and that's okay. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. But if that is you, pay attention because what we're about to share is very, very important. 85%. That's the percentage of consumers that find a branded email address more credible than a free one. A free email address signals personal, not professional, every time. 18%. That's the percent in consumer brand recall, the increase in consumer brand recall. A branded email reinforces your business every time a customer hears from you. So that turns into trust, recognition, repeat business, and loyalty over time. 1 in 6. 1 in 6 legitimate emails never reaches the inbox. Why? Your customer isn't the first one judging your email address. Mailbox providers are. And a free address can't be verified as yours, but a branded email on your domain can. And that's what gets you in the door. The best part? You get all of this for less than a round of coffees in the morning. The trust, the recall, the deliverability, plus every feature we're about to walk through tonight. It's one of the best investments you can make in your business. So Gmail is what we all know and recognize, but Google Workspace includes so much more, right, Carmen?
Absolutely. So there's way more. And we like to group all of the apps that are included into 3 distinct yet complementary groups. So first we have our collaboration tools. This includes everything from Google Drive, where you can securely save all your files in just about any format and access them from any device. Google Meet, which is your video conferencing tool that includes features like meeting recording, real-time language translation, and my personal favorite, lighting adjustments to make sure that you can look your best on screen. And we've got Google Calendar and Google Chat to keep you connected and organized. Then there's the creation-focused tools. Here we have Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Vids. These are basically all the apps that allow you to ideate and create all in one place. And if you're working with somebody else, you can all edit the same document in real time from different devices, and the changes are automatically saved. So you don't have to worry about saving different versions on different times and attaching them to emails. So this is relevant to all kinds of documents, content marketing calendars, project planners, spreadsheets, and more. And then from there, we have our productivity tools. This one actually includes Notebook LM, which we're going to dive into a little bit today, so we're excited about that. And then finally, Gemini, which is your AI-powered assistant, lives within all of these Workspace apps, allowing you to do more and do it faster.
Okay, so we've met Wix, we've met Google Workspace, we've met Gemini. Let's meet Randy. Randy is a real Wix user. He's been a long-time Wix user. He's owner of Evolve Clothing Gallery based in Somerville, New Jersey. I've actually had the opportunity to meet Randy a couple of times. He's an outstanding human, impeccably dressed, probably watching tonight, so hi, Randy. Randy is dealing with the same problems everybody else is. So let's hear it directly from him.
Hey everyone, I'm Randy, owner of Evolve Clothing Gallery in Somerville, New Jersey. We're a boutique specializing in Japanese denim, hard-to-find footwear, and exclusive sneakers, and what we call modern casual luxury. We carry brands from across the US, Japan, Europe, and beyond. Everything hand-picked, always intentional. But intention takes time. And right now, time is the one thing we don't have enough of. I have a small team. Running the store day to day is already a full plate. Growing it is a whole other challenge. And there are 3 areas specifically where I feel we need it most. The first is online presence. SEO is already a moving target, and now there's a whole new layer. Figuring out how to show up in AI-powered searches. I'm not a trained digital marketer. Understanding, it's hard. Actually, putting it into practice, even harder. The second is marketing. New product drops, brand content, keeping things fresh and on brand. I'm personally spending hours every week on this. I love it, but it pulls me away from everything else, and the demand never stops. And third, data. I'm a creative. Looking at spreadsheets and figuring out what to actually do with the numbers is not where I thrive, but the data matters. I have access to more of it than ever before. And now it's telling me something I just need help understanding, what that is and what move to make next. So the honest summary is, we want to grow. We know what we want to build, but there aren't enough hours in the day to do it all, and hiring isn't an option right now. We don't need more people. We need to get more out of the time we already have.
So that's Randy. But I have a feeling that a lot of you probably heard yourself in what he described. The visibility problem, the content grind, drowning in data but not knowing what to do about it. That's the reality for a lot of small business owners right now. So tonight, we'll tackle all 3. Actual problems, actual prompts, real solutions. Carmen, where should we begin?
Why don't we start with the visibility problem? Basically getting found online. Being seen by the people who matter to your business the most, your customers or prospective customers. It's always been hard, and based on what we're hearing from Randy and from other businesses, it's not getting any easier.
Absolutely. So question for the crowd. Who here is familiar with the term SEO? Probably most of us, right? What about GEO? Some of us. That's my point. We are at a time where things are changing so quickly, it's hard to keep up, much less know what to do with it, right? So GEO, by the way, is Generative Engine Optimization. It's the act or the effort of showing up in AI chat searches. And why should you care? Well, 8 in 10 global customers are using these AI chat tools for shopping just in the last 6 months. But despite that, only 1 in 9 local businesses have an active strategy to appear in these searches. Think about what that gap means. Most of your customers are now searching with these AI tools. Most of your competitors haven't reacted yet. I don't know about you, but I call that an opportunity. But how do you take advantage of the opportunity? Well, it starts with understanding. And for Wix users, that understanding starts with your AI visibility overview. Here you'll find loads of information on how you're showing up in AI searches. One of the most important things you'll find is exactly what your potential customers are asking these AI chat tools. Tools like Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity. And why is this important? Because as SEO is keyword driven, GEO is question driven. And Wix is showing you exactly what questions people are asking when they're shopping for your stuff. We're also showing you whether or not you're being mentioned in the questions, and in fact, exactly how the chat tools are responding. Here we can see Randy's overview. We see some of the questions people are asking when they're shopping for his stuff. So things like, where can I buy premium sneakers in Somerville? Where can I find Japanese denim in New Jersey? These are non-branded queries, meaning these are not people who know about Evolve Clothing Gallery, but they should. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where discovery is happening. And Wix is telling you exactly what your customers are asking when they want to find your business. So now that we know what people are asking, where our gaps and opportunities are, Carmen, how could we use this information inside Google Workspace to help us with this challenge?
So I will tell you, but first I'm going to introduce Juan, who's right over here. He's also from the Google Workspace team. He's going to help us today with this demo and a few others so that you can see how it all actually works in practice. So back to our visibility challenge. We're going to jump right into our demo, and we're going to start by opening up Notebook LM, which is part of Google Workspace. Think of Notebook LM as your research assistant that already knows your business because you give it everything it needs to know. It could be your site URL, your product catalog, your Wix reports, and all the data. It basically reads all of it, and then based on what you ask it, tells you what you want to know. So here's how this one's going to work. We're going to start by creating a new notebook. And from there, we're going to drop in a few simple resources that we already have on hand. In this case, some aspects of Randy's business. So we have Randy's website URL, which we've added. And then we've got his product catalog and a few other Wix SEO-related reports. In this case, we have them saved to our Google Drive, so we're selecting them there. If you have them saved on your desktop, you can simply drag and drop the files right into the Notebook LM app. And now for the magic. So we're going to open up the dialog box within Notebook LM and ask it to analyze our product catalog and our Wix data so that it can generate GEO-optimized metadata descriptions for our website. We can specify that we want natural conversational keywords in those descriptions, and we can even give it a character limit, in this case, 160 characters. And that's it. That's the whole instruction. So Juan, if you can talk us through what you're doing here.
Of course. So I'm giving Notebook LM a prompt, asking it to look at our product catalog that we've just uploaded, as well as our Wix analytics, to generate search-optimized metadata for every item we have in store. The goal is to maximize our visibility for both traditional search and AI bots. This is the prompt right here at the center. I had already copied and pasted, and now we're going to send it to Notebook LM.
Perfect. So that submission is running. Since it's a massive amount of data, it takes a few moments. So just for the interest of time, we ran this exact prompt on these resources a few moments ago. And so we're going to switch over to a tab where we already have that final output. Notebook LM actually pretty much always, will create a nice summary of everything that you've given it. So that's what you see in the middle here. Kind of synthesize all that information into a digestible format. But for this particular challenge, based on the prompt that we added, Notebook LM actually created a file with metadata descriptions that are optimized for AI search. So we're going to click and open that file up so we can take a look at the descriptions that it created. So here we go. Look at what came back. We have publish-ready product descriptions. They're written in Randy's brand voice, optimized for exactly the kind of searches his particular customers are running. So this isn't just a starting point. It's not a rough draft. This is copy he can take directly into his Wix dashboard right now. So this could have taken Randy an afternoon, even a few days, or maybe he just wouldn't even have had time to get it done. But Notebook LM was able to do it in seconds using assets that he already had. But we're not done yet. So maybe Randy wants to now share this new strategy with his team, but not everyone speaks SEO. And instead of sending a big wall of text, what he can do is click on the infographic feature, also right within Notebook LM. He can pick an orientation, he can pick a style, and then he can turn this whole strategy into something visual, very easy to digest for his team to easily understand. So again, since some of these high-quality graphics take a minute to generate, to save a little bit of time, we'll switch over to another tab where we just generated this a few minutes ago. And what you can see here is we get a couple of really nicely styled infographics that feature Randy's new GEO strategy in a super fun way. Now there's one more thing that Notebook LM can do that I think might surprise some of you. So maybe Randy wants to stay on top of what's shifting in the industry. The new trends, what are other competitors doing, where's the category heading in general. But between running the store, managing his inventory, managing his team and employees, he really doesn't have the time to sit down and read a 40-page industry report. But he has one, and he's been wanting to digest it. So what he does, we'll drop it into Notebook LM. And what Notebook LM can do is turn any document into an audio deep dive. Basically, a real conversation between two podcast hosts, breaking down the key insights from the report. And Randy can then email or text this audio file to himself, throw his earbuds in, and listen to it on his way home during his commute. So we're going to play a short clip from the one we generated from this report so you can kind of get a feel for what this sounds like.
This is the brief on the multi-billion-dollar streetwear market. A new report from PwC and Hypebeast shows how casual gear, like sneakers and hoodies, completely bypass traditional retail to become a massive $185 billion industry, literally 10% of the global apparel market.
So that's it. From having limited AI visibility and a lot of confusion to optimized metadata descriptions, a visual strategy that his team can actually follow, and then a market research report he can consume on his commute, all from the same tool in one session in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, the audio overview is actually my favorite feature. I use it all the time for everything. So to recap, I just want to point out that we took our website URL, a few of our Wix reports that we already have in our dashboard, dropped them in Notebook LM, and then with 2 prompts, we have our tailored SEO, GEO strategy, along with all of our product descriptions. And with one more, we went from dense market research to podcast. It's pretty incredible. Mm-hmm. Okay, on to the next challenge, keeping up with content. We heard what Randy said. He's spending hours each week on this. I imagine you are as well, probably. In fact, we know that it's at least 6 hours a week if you want to see any type of measurable return on your efforts. That's time spent blogging, creating newsletters, social media content for multiple platforms, editing creative assets. That's 312 hours a year, almost 2 full working months. So let's look at how we can start taking that time back. You start by outsourcing the daily grind. The weekly blog posts, the social media campaigns, the email marketing, everything that it takes to stay relevant and fresh, table stakes, essentially, for today's marketing. Randy was creating all of this from scratch every time. I'm sure probably some of you are as well. Drains your time and your energy.
Fire drill.
This was not part of the presentation.
We're keeping things interesting for you.
It's our second wild card. Yeah. So enough. So he got set up with the Wix AI marketing agent. This is a new feature that acts as your AI-powered automated content engine. It will automatically create, schedule, and optimize your blog posts, your social media, your email marketing, even paid ads. What it won't do is post on your behalf. So you still have creative control, keeping humans in the loop. So all of the table stakes work is done for you within Wix, which frees you up to be more strategic, to take on opportunities you would have never had the time or perhaps even the capability to do in the past. So Carmen, now that we have our marketing bases covered, what more could we do with the Google Workspace tools?
Right, so while Wix helps you take care of your automated digital marketing and content calendar, running a business still probably means you're having to create other high-stakes assets, both physical and digital. So think client pitch decks, brand lookbooks, store flyers, signs, you name it. So to show you how Gemini and Workspace can help you tackle some of these things without losing hours to formatting and design, we're going to jump into our next demo. So let's say Randy wants to create a brand lookbook that captures the essence of his store and brand and highlights the new season's product catalog. To help him build this quickly, we're going to start with a totally blank canvas in Google Slides. We have some of his few raw, unformatted product shots of some of the new footwear collection that he's planning to launch this season. So we're going to upload those into the slide. Once we see those, normally he would have had to spend time figuring out how to design each page of the lookbook, format it, make it look really pretty, populate with content. But instead, now that we have the photos here, we're opening up the Gemini chat box that's right within Google Slides, and we're going to ask it to do the heavy lifting. So, Juan, can you tell us how are you going to do this one?
Of course, this one is an easy one as well. So after dropping the photos into the slide from the sneaker, I'll go ahead and ask Gemini. I'll drop a prompt with instructions saying I want to create a 4-slide lookbook, and I'll also include some specifics on how I want the presentation to come out as.
Perfect. So sometimes when Gemini wants a few more details after your initial prompt, in order for it to determine the best design, it might present you with a few simple multiple choice questions that helps it determine the right aesthetic and content for what you're looking for. So once you answer those questions, it might actually share its plan for the design, and you can choose to approve it or make further changes. In this case, I think we're good with the plan, so we hit approve. And now, since oftentimes generating those high-res layouts kind of takes a minute, we did this a little bit earlier. And so what you can see is this great minimalist layout that it created for us. It basically built a professional lookbook that Randy can confidently use to pitch to his wholesale clients. He can take this as is, or continue to make his own tweaks, either manually or with additional prompting. But needless to say, just this one step probably saved him at least a few hours of designing, formatting, and building. And that's time that he can take for more strategic work to grow his business.
Yeah, so just simple product images to a full-blown modeled and styled lookbook in just a few prompts is pretty incredible too.
Exactly, and this could be anything. So maybe you run a catering company. You have pictures of your food, but you want to create a pamphlet or a menu. Gemini can do that for you. But Gemini isn't just for building decks or slides from scratch. It can take super messy existing slides and fix them up. So, for example, let's say in this case, Randy wants to create a flyer for a brand ambassador program he's just starting out. He has the text he wants to put in, but hasn't had the time to actually create the flyer. So we took this text, put it in a slide as a starting point. In this case, all he has to do is click the Enhance This Slide button at the bottom. Gemini does a little bit of thinking and takes this text, reorganizes it into a clean layout. It even adds a stylish hero image. So we'll give it a minute to generate here. And sometimes it might even give you a couple of options to choose from. And if you don't really like the first option, you can continue to prompt it, tell it what to change, and you might get something even better. So in this case, we got a beautifully formatted slide with a hero image. So let's say Randy likes that image, but the color of the outfit wasn't quite what he was looking for. He wants something that aligns better with the season. All he has to do to change it, click the Edit This Image tool, and then prompt Gemini to change the color of the outfit. With this request, Gemini takes a few seconds, cooks up a few new visual options, or perhaps just the right one. And if we like it, we just ask Replace, and it actually pops it right into the slide and formats it for you. So in this case, instead of red, we have green. So this is pretty cool because without this feature and tool, Randy may have had to rehire a photo shoot team, go through the trouble and the time and the budget to get the small last-minute change done. But he could do this with like one click of a button. And even if he didn't love the final results, he could take the edits into his own hands if he wants. So to kind of put it into perspective, Gemini and Slides can help you create a wide spectrum of brand content relevant to any business types. These can serve as either example mock-ups to share with another designer or as final products. So we're just going to show you a few other examples that we generated earlier, each one with just one single prompt. So for example, here is a stunning pricing guide for a yoga studio. And here is a vibrant, photo-rich event flyer for a local farmer's market. And then we have a sleek agency presentation. So no matter your industry, Gemini can handle the formatting work, and you can just focus on your vision and being creative.
Yeah, what I love about this is that I often know what I want to communicate, but I just don't know how to show it or bring it to life, right? And so with Gemini, it really empowers the people with ideas to go from content to creative assets immediately with just a few simple prompts. Okay. Now, creating content is one thing, but running a successful business deals with a lot of other challenges, specifically with data. And when we talk to business owners, a lot of you are saying the same thing when it comes to data. You know you should use it, but you don't really understand what it's telling you or what to do about it. In fact, we all know we should be using our data to make better decisions. 70% of large businesses are doing this, but only 20% of small businesses are able to do the same. Again, that gap is your opportunity, but it's hard, right? Who here feels confident in their ability to understand large amounts of data? Nobody. Yeah. Probably none of us, yeah. Historically, only about 30% of small businesses answer yes to that question. And so naturally, an even smaller percentage of small businesses are actually leveraging their data, converting it from information to insight. Only 15%, in fact. One, because it's hard, and two, because it's expensive. But Wix and Google Workspace are making this available to the masses. Want to know how your website's performing? Check out your behavior overview. It's going to show you where people are going on your site, when they're bouncing, where they may be getting confused. Want to know about your marketing efforts? Check out your marketing overview. Shows you traffic sources, which ones are driving the most site visits, which ones are driving the most revenue, which ones convert the best. Or if you just need a quick pulse check, look at your analytics highlights. Shows you all of your key metrics and can even be edited to show you exactly what's important to you. Some people may know this, but many people do not. And this is all very powerful information, something most businesses do not have access to. The ability to see what's going on in your business at any given moment on any given metric. In fact, over 50 distinct analytics reports on everything from sales to marketing to SEO. But what if you want to take it a little bit further? What if you want someone to analyze this, explain it, and tell you what to do about it? Because making sense of data and making use of it are two different things entirely. That's where Google Workspace comes in, right? So Carmen, Juan, what are some of the things Google Workspace could do with our Wix data?
So we'll show you. And for this one, we're going to start inside Google Sheets, our spreadsheet tool. And in this case, we have about 12 months of unformatted data taken straight from the Wix Analytics dashboard. We've got sales over time, sales by item, and top traffic sources. So Juan, if you can talk us through how you're even going to start here.
Of course. So I'm opening the file. As Carmen said, there's a lot of data in here. Now what I'll do is I'll paste my first prompt into Gemini. So I'll open the side panel right here, which is the same we've seen in slides and some of the other apps. I'll go ahead and add the prompt, asking it to provide me insights coming out of the data.
Perfect. So because Gemini takes a few seconds to parse through these thousands of rows, we'll switch over to a tab where Juan ran this just a few minutes ago. Same prompt, same file. Here are the initial results. So as you can see at the top, Gemini generates visual charts so that you can digest the data at a glance, no more spreadsheet squinting. And then as we scroll down a little bit, you'll see that it didn't just visualize the data, it actually pulled out 3 key business insights: who your audience is, what's driving the revenue, and how to build your site around it. So essentially, it turned this data into a web design strategy. Layout recommendations, hero section styling, the top products to feature, and even simpler navigation recommendations. So basically, we put one spreadsheet in, one prompt, and now we've got a full roadmap.
Yeah, this is wild. This is one of the things Gemini does so well, right? It takes large amounts of data, distills it down, and then tells us what to do with it.
Exactly, and we can keep the conversation going in the same side panel. So we have one final prompt that we're going to put into Gemini today, and we're going to ask it to give us a cohesive 3-part growth strategy. And in our prompt, we ask it to address a few specific questions that have been on Randy's mind. So once again, diving deep into the data can take a few moments, so we'll go over to where we have the completed output for the interest of time. And we'll take a look at what we've got. Basically 3 helpful sections that are actually based on what we asked it to do in our prompt. Here, Gemini is telling us what our top selling item is and the main traffic source driving these sales. It's also telling us what our optimal launch timing is. So what day of the week are most of these sales coming from? What month of the year? Giving us insight into our business's seasonality, basically. And my favorite thing, it's even telling us a bundle strategy that's going to help us raise our revenue overall. Pretty smart. So in just a few minutes, Randy went from a confusing wall of spreadsheets full of numbers, didn't really know what to do with it, and now he has a clear visual audit, a website blueprint, and a data-backed marketing calendar and strategy.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Okay, so we have covered a lot. Let me quickly summarize it all. We talked about improving your online visibility, specifically within AI chat tools. How Wix helps you understand where you're showing up and where you aren't, and how Google Workspace takes that information and helps you understand what to do about it. We saw how time-consuming it can be to keep up with content. With Wix, all of your baseline level marketing efforts are done for you, freeing you up to focus on things that are more impactful, high-stakes, creative content. In other words, going from daily grind to automated and growing with Wix and Google Workspace. And finally, we discussed the data dilemma, understanding it and actually using it. Wix keeps you always informed on the health of your business with overviews as well as comprehensive analytic reports. Google Workspace can act as your in-house analyst, taking that Wix data and turning it into information and insights you can act on. So Carmen, I know your team has done a bit of an analysis on how much time people are getting back using these tools. What did you find out?
Sure. So on average, Workspace with Gemini users are reclaiming 3 hours every single week. And then when we look at users who are using the deep focus tools like Notebook LM, which is the tool we started with our demos tonight, users are actually saving a massive 10 hours a week. So this comes out to about 188 hours a year, just leveraging Google Workspace. So think about what you could do with another 188 hours back to yourself in a year. For an entrepreneur or a small team, that's almost an entire month of productivity given right back to you. So the goal here isn't just to shave off a few minutes here and there. It's about eliminating the operational friction that stalls business growth. So that's why we wanted you here tonight. So honestly, thank you for showing up. We truly appreciate the time and the attention. And we want to make it as easy for you as possible to try these things out for yourself and see how it can help you. So we are giving everybody in the room here and on this live stream an exclusive 60% off Google Workspace for the entire first year, so you can try things out for yourself. To get that 60% off, you can just scan this QR code or come find us after, and we will help you get set up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for showing up. Thank you also for the work that you do. I'm a big believer in small businesses. I believe they power our economies. My dad was a small business owner, so I absolutely understand the sacrifice that goes into it. And that's why for me personally, it's been such an honor to be with you here today. And in fact, that's exactly why this Wix and Google Workspace partnership exists, right? It's about bringing best-in-class tools to small businesses to help you succeed. So thank you, everybody who joined us tonight. Carmen, Juan, thank you for being such amazing co-hosts. And thanks to everybody who tuned in around the globe. We want to close out by sharing one of my favorite videos that highlight real small businesses and how Google Workspace helps power them to success. So again, we appreciate you all. Thanks so much. Have a good night.
My grandfather taught me everything I know.
Our little family businesses work their tails off.
We never miss a detail, and those things matter.
The legacy and the tradition and the craft, it's what I live by.
It's nice working with your family.
We're a two-person team. We're also busy moms.
The financial side can be very daunting.
If our schedule gets messed up, everything falls apart.
We don't have a lot of time.
We're not professional.
I have a tendency to be very
Using Gemini has been a game changer.
Gemini in Google Docs helps me write website descriptions.
AI allows us to make quick business decisions.
It translates everything live. It was magic the first time I saw this.
Gemini in Gmail really lets our staff save time drafting emails.
It makes my response more concise and so much better.
Mocking up a concept, we can do that in a matter of minutes.
We have time to keep doing what we love.
And it opened up the world to me.
This is a beautiful thing we're doing, and we're proud of what we do.